Hello everyone, this is Zoltar and welcome back to our expansive Offworld Trading Company campaign. Now, last episode we acquired the Energy Vault, which will hopefully help us with our solar power push through the night without accruing too much debt in the process, and a Mutiny, one per game, which would be very nice for taking control of resources in the early game and keeping other people from expanding too quickly before we've managed to establish, for the nice positions on the map. Now, we have two very interesting missions this time. They both have dust storms going on, which is not good for us at all because we're relying on solar power and not wind power. But this one, even though it has very, very low income, has, in my opinion, the best perk, teleportation. Teleportation is huge, because it allows us to far more freely place any of our buildings on the map because we don't have to ship resources around anymore. This is very, very nice for a large number of reasons. For one, it reduces our fuel consumption, which is huge because it allows us to either just ignore the fuel market if it's not doing well, or spend less on it to capitalize on a high fuel price because we aren't consuming the fuel ourselves. And secondly, it allows us to protect ourselves from black market attacks more easily because we can spread our resource facilities out and we don't have to ship everything back and forth. So not everything has to be connected to the headquarters. So you'll have just like a little electronics pod in one corner and, a steel mills in another place, things of that nature. So they can't hit all of them at the same time. They kind of have to pick and choose more carefully, and it just makes you a less desirable target in general. So this is very nice if we can manage to pick it up. So we're going to take a chance and go after it, even though we only have the +3 income if we do succeed. And there's a very rare resource level, which could make the mission quite difficult. Now, power may be a major issue this mission, so we'll have to be careful about that as we go about our laying a foundation for our colony. Sorry, I lost the words there for a second. But we should turn toward what to do with our money, keeping this kind of thing in mind. Now, if we're having to commit hard to power, we're not going to be able to spend as much on life support, electrolysis, water pumps, and we're not even going to be able to get to glass as easily because power consumes silicon. So if we need to put down, well, it doesn't consume silicon, but solar panels consume silicon. So if we need to put down a large number of solar panels, we're going to be using up a lot of silicon. That silicon's not going to be available for us to turn into glass as easily. So I think what we're going to do is pick up a hacker array to allow us to play with our other resources a bit more easily. This is one of the advanced buildings, but it's a very useful one. And we're going to spend just a little more on a metal mine because we want to make sure we have plenty of money in case the ability to purchase an off-world market comes up. And that costs 120. And we're not going to get a whole lot of income growth off of this. So we want to be very careful and make sure we keep plenty of cash laying around. Actually, 38 plus 86 is plenty. Just barely. It's just barely there. And hopefully plus 89. So maybe instead of the mine, which we already have 4 mine engineers, that's why I really don't want the mine. Maybe we will lean toward the steel mill. Once again, glass probably not going to be as useful this time around. An electrolysis reactor is not as useful in general later because we won't be consuming as much fuel. So we'll just go for the steel mill engineer again. Another option is to expand into this electronics factory engineer, but we're acquiring the hacker array, which will kind of help shore up any deficiencies we have in the variety of resources we have access to by beating down those resources with surpluses if somebody else is being able to benefit a lot from them, or by just upping the cost of our own resources. That's the point of the hacker array. So we'll go with the steel mill and start mission.
High levels of aluminum.
Okay, we already found some aluminum. That's very nice for us. And it looks like we found some iron as well. So we may just plant very quickly here.
Low levels of carbon found.
Yeah, let's just do it. We've got a very nice spot right there we want to make sure we grab. So we'll actually plant here this time. Put down 2 mines right here. We'll be a lot lighter on aluminum this time unless we grab this tile right here.
High levels of water found.
Which is actually very tempting.
Scientific colony found.
We'll just do it. We'll just go right for it. Okay, we've got a lot of people we're up against. That's actually very nice in my opinion. Let's get a steel mill down, start processing this ridiculous amount of iron we're going to have. And I'm not too worried about going so hard in iron right away because it's right next to our headquarters. We'll be able to scrap them if necessary and turn them into useful buildings later. For the time being, we can wait a little bit, see if prices drop at all on these things, sell off a little bit of this iron to knock the price down to a more reasonable level. And let's go ahead and get this upgrade done. Start pumping out some serious steel. Grab a water tile. Water might be highly contested this match. It's hard to say for sure. This water tile looks pretty nice. It's high with a medium next to it. And let's just grab both water tiles so nobody can mess with us. Now we've got a scientist and 2 scavengers, so carbon is going to be pretty important this match, and I don't see a whole lot of it. So maybe we do a weird thing and we try and grab up a little bit of carbon just to make sure we have a horse in that race. Yeah, we want to deny people claims. That is totally fine. I'll pay 5,000 debt for a claim right now. Let's grab this carbon, and we can maybe grab another carbon. There's one there, there's one there. There's a few over here. This is actually the one to grab. If I'm going to grab any, because it makes it harder for him to get his adjacency bonuses later, and gives us a tighter grip on the market in general. Now, very quickly, we're going to have to start looking at power, because power is going to start costing us a lot very soon. As you can see, we're kind of using this buffer we have right now that we acquired from our bonuses, but that's going to deplete before too long.
The black market is online.
Let's just grab a claim from the black market and then find a resource to sell. Steel's looking pretty solid. Steel's going to be less in demand because we've got 2 scavengers, so it's just the scientist and myself using up the steel this game, by the way. Shortage of food. That is not good at all. That is not good at all. Let's go ahead and get our power down. It's a bit risky. There's not a whole lot of room for solar power up here in the nice spot.
With each new citizen, our domination grows.
Go ahead and pump down some food before this shortage just kills us. And a shortage on aluminum. That's actually very nice. That's very nice for us. I don't know how much aluminum the scientist is bringing in, but I don't think it's too terribly much. He's got water, he's got steel, and he's got silicon, so maybe he's not even bringing in... No, this isn't him. And food. Okay, okay. So he's not bringing in very much aluminum at all. Oh no, here's his aluminum mine. I'm just going crazy. That's all that's happening right now.
The black market is online.
Okay, we want to use that black market. Steel's up pretty high. Carbon, as you can see, carbon's staying up there because they need carbon pretty bad. We'll see if that keeps going up or if they manage to start producing enough on their own. Our aluminum got mutinied. That's unfortunate. But a surplus hit right as we sold.
Pirates.
So that should help out. This is falling, so we'll just tank it. And somebody had pirates at the start of the match. And we got EMP. That hurts. That was a good move on their part. Let's go ahead. Let's expand while aluminum is cheap. That bumped up aluminum's price pretty significantly. But its price was probably just going to go up for the time being. And it wasn't too expensive at that time. Where is this iron? Right here. I'm not too concerned about that. That's whatever. Yeah, he can have it. I don't care. Don't care. He's a scientist. He probably won't benefit as much from it being a high yield anyway, because of the specifics of how science works. Ooh, and an aluminum shortage. That hurts. That's real bad. Actually, let's take this mutiny and grab your aluminum up. He's a scientist, so we don't get as much from this. But aluminum's real valuable right now. So that'll be very nice to have. Sell off some electronics and get our power up during the nighttime, so that when day hits we'll have plenty. We probably didn't need 2 of those. That's me overreacting a bit, but that's just the way it is right now. Food is coming back online. We should have food production momentarily. There we go. These farms... Oh, it's a dust storm, so food's actually real hard to make. That's interesting. I didn't know that about dust storms. You don't see them too often. Let's get down some glass instead, then. Silicon's doing all right now. And so maybe we can take advantage of this glass shortage before anybody else can. We should be on the lookout and see if anybody is making glass. We've got glass being made right here. Do we have black market access? I think we do. So let's knock that out. Keep him from bringing that glass price down before we have access to it. No glass over here, just a food farm. And food's going to be very expensive this game. That's very interesting. Food's very hard to acquire. Yes, start your production. Auto supply. Iron's tanking like crazy. That's not too surprising. And we've got glass pumping out finally.
Scientific colony expanded.
Okay, that's fine. Keep those frozen. We just want to keep that way. That's all we want right now. And let's keep selling off some of our aluminum. See if we can purchase some more stuff off the black market and start acquiring a stock from someone. You have glass production. Glass is quite valuable. So we'll just start buying you while we keep you down on your resource production. Buy an EMP. That's very nice. Sell off some steel. We're not looking to expand until we've acquired this guy at this point, because we've started that process. So we'll keep selling our steel and our aluminum. That can be a useful plot this game. That's very tempting. Oh, but if we let Red take it, he'll be easier to buy out. Why don't we let him have it for now? That's who we're going after anyway, so that's okay. That's okay. We'll just get the tile once we have him. Keep this aluminum price lower. And actually, when the black market opens up again, we may just dynamite this thing. Scientists don't get resistance to dynamite. Okay, keep buying this. His stock price fell a little bit from all that debt he picked up. You can see he's got almost 10,000, which is hurting him pretty badly. He doesn't have the resources to back that up right now. So we'll just sell off... Oh, that was an accident. There we go. Sell off more stuff. Sell off just a little more. We need 3,000. Where can we get 3,000? We can sell off some steel for some. We can just keep selling off this glass and food as it comes in.
The black market is online.
We'll worry about that in a minute here. And there we go. Now we have all the glass, and everybody still needs glass. Glass is very nice this match. Thankfully, power is not being the problem that we expected it to. Let's check and make sure. Yeah, minus 50% due to dust storm on the solar panel. So we were correct there. We got targeted by a power surge. That's not surprising. It's knocked out some of our glass production, but not all of it. Let's sell off the glass. That'll allow us to buy silicon, which we stopped acquiring for a moment. Ooh. Let's repair this. This is one of the nice things we have right now, is this silicon will do a lot of providing for our glass factories. Let's get a little more food production up. Food's crazy expensive, and water's crazy cheap. So that's still very nice. And I don't think we need to actually pay off the debt. I don't know if we need to worry about it. Let's throw down a hacker array. We've got a claim left. We'll put it here once we have enough. There we go. So we can keep these prices where we want them. And our debt might be an issue. The question is, how much do we want to worry about it? Oxygen's pretty expensive right now. And I think it's just going to keep going up. We've got some being made here already. Why don't we round that out? Make it a nice even 3 for the 100% bonus on each of them.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
I don't know everybody's name yet.
Do we want pirates? Do we care about pirates right now? Not really. I'm not too concerned about it. They're not going to get our glass, and they're not going to get our food. And everything else is just kind of at the moment. Silicon's pretty decent. The silicon getting stolen from us would be sad, and that's exactly what they went for. They went for our silicon right now, so that's unfortunate. Let's see if there's another source of silicon we can grab up. This will actually do okay. So let's just use some of our claims on that. We have plenty of claims. Got the electrolysis up. Let's get one more glass factory down. Make this a good 3 for that bonus. And we want a goon squad, actually, right now. We want a goon squad, and we're going to put it right here to help protect our farms. Hopefully this farm will get targeted, and the goon squad will keep it from being an issue. Okay, what do we got? EMP right here on our silicon quarries. They are really hitting us hard in the silicon right now. That is very interesting, and now power is an issue because we got a solar panel knocked out here. We're going to have to spend more silicon fixing that, and things are starting to get hairy. Why don't we look at knocking some of this debt down before we go after anyone else? This debt's getting a little silly. So we'll just focus all our resources on getting rid of it for the time being. And we need to start using this hacker array we put up once we have the money. Sell off some steel, and let's short, what should we short? We can just short glass and keep it high this whole time. And try and watch for anybody else cutting into our glass market. The downside of this is silicon is going nuts, and so glass isn't going to be worth a whole lot very soon. So we'll go ahead and kill the glass furnaces for the time being while we get this silicon situation sorted out. We still have food that we're making a killing off of. And water is at an okay price, with a couple of spots left just in case things get a little weird. Here we've got some glass production. Unfortunately, it's a scientist, so we'll actually want some dynamite to hit it next time, but we can keep it knocked down for the time being. Scavenger expanded, that's good, that'll keep glass going up. Let's go ahead and expand ourselves, get a few extra claims, beef up our stock price, which is still pretty good. And that iron tile is so far away, I can't even be bothered. Let's get one more solar panel down if we can. It's an expensive solar panel, but I think we need to. Let those two fight over it. I really couldn't care less. Let's see what we can sell off. We need aluminum for the solar panel. Let's sell off these electronics we've acquired. And that's enough. Now it's nighttime, but that's okay because it still has to fly over there and then it has to build. So hopefully it'll be close to day by the time it actually activates. Let's make sure you guys are auto-supplying. Because water is still very cheap. And oxygen is not. Oh, excellent. That glass shortage hit. Let's just keep that going. Make sure we sell off just enough. There we go. More glass shortages. And we'll go ahead and turn glass production back on now. There we go. Get this repaired. People really hate us this game. Getting targeted in so many places. Might need to goon squad this, actually. Steel shortage. Not going to object to that at all. Just keep selling that. And we really want that goon squad. We really need to pay off this debt. This is getting a little insane. But power is extremely expensive right now. And we're building up a store of it, so maybe instead of attacking them there, we go after them somewhere else and start knocking this power source down. A dynamite on this power could be devastating. So sell off some glass, we'll buy some dynamite, we'll hit them there. We just got hit as well on one of our solar panels. But we have a lot more than they do still. That cuts us hard, but it cuts them harder. or deeper,
Our
or
hackers
however
have
you want to actually
compromised
put
the
it.
trading servers. Price manipulation begins shortly.
Alright, glass is going to keep firing up. We need more food still. Food's going insane. I'm really hoping they try and hit us here so that it just completely backfires on them. But food is hard to get this game. Now, debt is seriously out of control, and we need to resolve that situation. Everybody needs silicon, I know. I know everybody needs silicon. Aluminum shortage, it's very nice. There we go. That gives us money to keep this silicon floating, and we're going to have to cut
The black
production.
market
Oh,
is
we got
online.
underground nuked. That's sad. We don't really need a new claim, but maybe they do, and we can drive up the price a little bit. Come on, bid on it, you jerk. Didn't pan out. We were hoping. Didn't work out. This pleasure dome is producing a fair amount of cash right now. Still got this glass working here. But I think we'll just keep hitting them where we already were. These are also going to be very expensive to repair because silicon's out of control right now. It's part of why I'm okay just using up the silicon at the moment. Although we do need to go ahead and shut down, I think, because we're not even at a 1-to-1. And oxygen and silicon both are insanely expensive, so it's time to stop this. Where was that EMP? Again on our silicon. Not a big surprise. I think we need to try and see where all the silicon is on this map, because that's turned into a very... Ooh. We've got a war going on here. Debt is completely out of control. We cannot get enough power up. But we just got a surge. That's very good. Where is your power source, Green? Where are you? I don't know where his power is coming from. Here's a wind turbine.
We're not surprised. Just
He had it protected. That's
The
not
black
good.
market is
We might lose
online.
this. Legitimately. Power's just gone too nuts. This is what I was so concerned about. This price on power is ridiculous. And our power's getting frozen. It's getting wrecked. And we cannot keep this up for very long with power this insane and silicon out of control. I don't know where all of his power is coming from, though. I don't know how he can afford this without going into massive amounts of debt. Like, our debt's completely insane right now. I'm actually very worried about it. I'm going to buy up some of our own stock, which I usually don't do, just to try and stay in the game. We could use maybe a little more oxygen production, because oxygen is still very expensive. Food's still very expensive. Our food got hit, and unfortunately in a position that didn't protect everything. So hopefully we can resolve this quickly, because we are consuming a lot more food than they are. We're actually just consuming a lot more of almost everything than they are. Let's see. We can keep selling silicon, we can
The
keep
black
selling
market is
oxygen, and we just need to
online.
get rid of this debt. I'm too worried about it. So many things are so expensive, and our stock price is super low. It's being driven down so hard by our massive debt. What do we got? It's a water tile. I'm not concerned about that. We're buying water, but it's pretty cheap at the moment. Targeted by a mutiny on this wind turbine. That's not good. Maybe we can do the same thing to him. He defended last time, so it's unlikely to have another goon squad set up. What can we sell? We can sell off more aluminum. We can sell off plenty of fuel. This food, we just can't get food. And we got hit again. They've been hitting us so hard, and everybody targeted us this game with their black market, is what it felt like. Nobody else was getting hit except what we were doing, so that was very painful to deal with. Okay, he's expanding. That's actually good in some ways, because it'll increase his power consumption, so he'll have a harder time dealing with that. And it will also increase his food, water, and oxygen consumption. And we're in a pretty good spot when it comes to some of those things. Oh, we're actually getting bought out. That's not good at all. We've got to get this debt gone, and it just keeps rising. It's
Your
just too
stock
out of
is
control.
being bought.
I don't think we're going to pull it off this game. Let's get our glass factories back on. Power just went so nuts this game. It's ridiculous. This is what I was talking about, though. That dust storm, it destroyed us.
Scientific colony expanded.
Okay, he's expanding his secondary colony. That's okay. Electronic shortage. We can't take advantage of that at all. I just want this debt gone. Oh man. And actually, this is kind of the downside, I think, to this stockpile, is we're building up the stockpile instead of paying off our debt right now, which is frustrating to say the least. Okay. How are you doing? How are you doing? You don't have almost any debt whatsoever. You're doing just fine. And we got bought out like that. Wow. That's it. That's how you lose a match. Let's take a look at what happened. I'm pretty sure I know exactly what happened, but we'll check it out anyway. As you can see, we auto-purchased 242,000 power, and we sold 2,000. So a lot of what was predicted up front came true. We bought so much silicon, and we didn't sell it for that much at the end of the day because it got insane. We got hit by power surges, we got hit by mutinies, we got hit by dynamite, and everybody else got hit by almost nothing, so that was very painful. But the computer can sometimes do that. It can sometimes beat down. And let's look. Was it you that won? Red? Let's check the map. Might have been green. Yeah, it was green that won. So let's look here. Yeah, he auto-sold that much. It was all about the power. Like, silicon played a role, but realistically, it came down to the power. He had plenty. He wasn't using a lot. We didn't have enough. And it wrecked us. It's the downside of the solar panel. But we didn't have a choice, you know? I don't think there was even geothermal on the map. We didn't have the opportunity to buy a wind turbine, and both of the missions available to us this time were dust storm missions. So that was very sad, but that's how it is. Hopefully we'll do a bit better next time and be better prepared for any dust storm situation that may come up. As it is, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.